One of the oldest memories we hold collectively is the emergence and structure of language. No one can honestly date when this development occurred, yet it did, and the result is here, now, me writing this now. Not all regions developed at the same time. For speaking and marking, writing emerged in different ages on different continents. It's extremely likely that other species, hominids, developed language of some description, meaning that it is not restricted to Homo sapiens. In fact, other species other than human have either structured language or are cognizant enough to convey and display emotional content. A fundamental attribute of words, that appears to be inherent since their origin, is that words aren't alive unless spoken. It was the elite that would speak and read, meaning that it predominantly was a function of the priest or king. Learning to read and speak was something reserved for the spiritual, and this was pretty much everywhere, so the spiritual and language have always gone hand in hand. So when one reads something like, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." John 1:1 and Krishna Yajurveda, Kathaka Samhita, 12:5-27:1, it garners further interest. The first instance of this sentence being used is used in Hinduism, where speech is considered the manifestation of the sound of Brahman, of which Om and the Vedas themselves are representative. I am Om, the word that is God. Bhagavad Gita 7:8. Through syncresis and division, or taking a contrary argument, Eastern religious ideas formed alongside cultures, such as the Harappan, which had no language as such, so utilized the idea as symbols so they could trade with others. The cards often display the animal, how much space required, how many feeds required, etc. This first, informal alphabet of sorts was actually ancient supermarket labels. It wasn't a language per se, but a way of uniting thoughts to understand common principles, signage. It was soon after that languages emerged from the religious halls and into towns and cities. Later in history, articles like the King James Bible attempted to unify the English language, and similar events happened to consolidate the languages that exist now, in our day. Sounds and words evolve, and their usage and definition can change over the passage of time. An example is the modern sir, from the old sire, from the older sire. It's a simple example, but I'm not a philologist, merely having a coincidental interest, for words and languages have been a predominant part of the studies relating to the spiritual texts consumed. The meaning of a word in or out of context can change things significantly. The impact cannot stressed enough. Lots gets lost in translation. Another example now, 40 days and 40 nights, is an expression used in the Bible, mainly in the New Testament. The modern church uses the literal form to help form the liturgical calendar, but and here's the biggest but you will ever have, in the original, Hebrew context it's exactly the same as, a long, long time. Now go and read the passages you know so well and employ this meaning. See what you discover. I'll wait, when you pause, now. You've probably guessed, but by now you should realize that the same process is how we learned to conjure spells. The wise religious leaders who were literate, could read, write and spell. Words weren't written around wildly and willy-nilly, no, overcare and attention was paramount. Words were classed as living things, because the word is God and everything created came through vibration. Another of the few collective memories we hold is that we understand sound can create. It creates waves, but it also creates. Words are sacred vibrations, and this philosophy was prevalent for centuries, until language was commonplace, and then only courtiers, priests and kings could read and write. Eventually everyone is given opportunity to learn the whole lot, which culminates in my writing this now. So spells are literally spells. You are breathing life into a letter. Consider that Christ had a sign, ordered by Pontius Pilate, placed above his head, INRI. Everyone who saw it would be compelled to say it, due to their blessed knowledge. Only the spiritual elite could read the sign. Again, if you must, go and read the well-known passages once more. I'll wait whilst you now pause. Once, whilst waiting for a bus, I spotted an Indian man perusing a shop window. There were many objects in the window and a book. Balti Cook book, he said aloud. Many might consider him maybe A little basic in understanding language by modern standards, yet he exemplified his cultural heritage, for he was breathing life into the words. The long and short of it all is simply this: words are life, for they are vibrations in motion with no need for physical form. We are not vibrations in a wave as yet, for we experience this particle reality. Our true state is as vibration. The wise ones of yestermillennia knew this, then we kinda forgot it, and now some of us are beginning to remember again. Yet, even weirder than that, quantum physics is proving to think that, yes, maybe this is the case. Ever heard of string theory? We have come halfway around the circle in our understanding of words and what it is to be. We are beginning to unlearn what conceitedly use as language. It's a vanity that is overused, complacently. We convey half meanings, unfinished thoughts, throw away emotions carelessly every day. If you could not talk, you would understand how powerful speech is. Words are breathed alive by announcing them, making them resonate, so I can say something along the lines of, in our particle reality we exist for a moment, but as a wave, we simply exist. Be careful with words. My wife wishes I was Trappist, but I'm not quite there yet. Not far off though. A brief history of writing. The development of writing from hieroglyphics and other pictographic systems to the modern alphabet was a long process of abstraction and simplification. In both ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, writing evolved from drawing pictures of objects into a system of signs that represented sounds, making communication more efficient. From pictographs to cuneiform in Mesopotamia. The earliest precursor to writing emerged in Mesopotamia around 8000 BCE with a system of clay tokens used for accounting. Tokens to pictographs, 3500 BCE. The 3D tokens were eventually replaced by 2D pictographs, drawings of the tokens, impressed onto clay tablets to record transactions. Logograms and phonograms, 3000 BCE. The pictographic system evolved to include logograms, word signs, and phonograms, sound signs. Scribes began to use the signs not just for the object pictured, but for the sound of the word associated with it. Cuneiform, 3000–2000 BCE. As scribes used a wedge-tipped stylus, the pictorial signs became more stylized and abstract, consisting of wedge-shaped strokes. This system, known as cuneiform, reduced the number of signs needed and became increasingly phonetic. The Egyptian evolution: hieroglyphic, hieratic, and demotic. Ancient Egyptian writing followed a similar path, though hieroglyphs retained the pictorial form for ceremonial purposes. Hieroglyphs, 3200 BCE. The formal hieroglyphic system was a complex mix of phonograms, representing sounds, logograms, representing words, and ideograms, clarifying meaning. Hieratic, 3200–3000 BCE, developed almost simultaneously with hieroglyphs. Hieratic was a cursive, simplified script better suited for writing quickly with reed brushes and ink on papyrus. The signs became less recognizable as their original pictures. Demotic, 700 BCE, a further simplification of hieratic. Demotic became the common script for everyday documents like letters and business transactions. It was even more abstracted from its hieroglyphic origin. The alphabet's emergence. The crucial step toward modern script was the invention of a system representing individual sounds, phonemes, not just syllables. Proto-Semitic alphabet, 1500 BCE. Semitic-speaking people working in Egypt adapted Egyptian hieroglyphs to create a new, simpler alphabet. They used the acrophonic principle, where a sign stood for the initial sound of the word it represented. For instance, a sign depicting an ox head, alpu, was used to represent the sound, a. Phoenician and Greek alphabets, c. 1050 BCE onwards, the Phoenicians adopted and refined the Semitic alphabet into a system of 22 consonants. The Greeks later borrowed this alphabet, making a groundbreaking innovation by adding signs for vowels. Latin alphabet. The Etruscans adopted the Greek alphabet, and the Romans in turn adopted and adapted the Etruscan alphabet. This Roman or Latin alphabet became the basis for many modern Western scripts. Coptic script. In Egypt, The Coptic alphabet, which was based on Greek with additional letters borrowed from Demotic for Egyptian sounds, replaced hieroglyphic and Demotic scripts during the Roman era, especially with the rise of Christianity.